Hey guys, it's me Kate again. So this video is going to be my July wrap-up. And I'll be talking about all the books that I read in the month of July. There was definitely more than I expected it to be, considering that because of family trip that I'll be not reading as much, but I ended up reading 4 more books there. So that's just overview that in 10 days I read 4 books. It usually takes me about 10 days to read 1 book, so take that as you will. So let's begin. So the first book that I read was actually my reread of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which I read for the first time last July, July of 2021. So it was just under a year from when I first read it to this reread. And then we have, here it is, The Gathering of Shadows by Lee Schwab. This second book in Darker Shade of Magic series, in a Darker Shade of Magic series, in which are following Cal, who is an Antari, which means he can travel through parallel worlds. In this case, parallel Londons. And in this world there are 4 Londons: Grey London, which is our London without magic; White London, where people are fighting to control magic; Red London, where people worship magic; and Black London, which was destroyed by magic. And one day Cal smuggles something from Black London to out of there, and that thing gets stolen and gets him into a world of trouble. I gave this upon a reread 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read that I actually listened to the audiobook of Carry On by Rowell. Since then I got my own version. This is currently unread, but you'll see that the sequels are read, considering I read them on a trip. So this is first book in Carry On series, in which are following Simon Snow, who, as it says on the back of the book, the worst chosen one who's ever been chosen. Basically, there were this bunch of prophecies, which prophesies the greatest mage ever, and it's supposed to be Simon, but all that is going on basically means that he is doing more trouble than is actually worth. So when his roommate in this magical school of 8 years doesn't show up to their final year, Simon gets suspicious, considering that his roommate Bias is one of the star pupils of the school in their year, so it's suspicious when he doesn't show up. I gave 5 out of 5 stars, and it's one of my favorites of the year. Then I listened to the audiobook of Guy on the Rise by Kate Something. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's an interesting audiobook. It's basically a romance book, and it's about a guy. So this guy's best friend is hottest guy in their friend group, and our main male character is always on his right in the picture. So, and he's almost with one of the girls he meets. Then I read The Unpopular Vote by Jasper Sanchez, which was a YA contemporary. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Gentleman's Club by N.C. Hergot. That's about superheroes YA book, and I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read A Rush of Wings by Laura E. something. I'm not sure what I wrote down here. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's also, I was really, after Carry On, I was really in YA, LGBTQIA plus books, so I read a bunch of them. Then I read O King, Holy King by Sebastian Notwell, which is a fantasy, I think a male romance, gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Legend of Akimo by Danny Hoods, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It's inspired by East Asian mythology. I forgot which one. Then I read The Merciless Ones by Namina Forna. It's the sequel of The Gilded Ones, in which we are following a girl in this world where they have these blood-letting ceremonies for women to become a full-fledged members of the society, and if their blood runs red, they're safe to stay, and if their blood runs gold, they are basically killed because it's seen as a curse. And then and our main character's blood runs gold, and then a woman comes and takes her to this place full of the girls like her. And then we have Ratna and Jay's Recipe for Romance by Nisha Shamina, which is YA contemporary romance. If I remember correctly, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read My Not So Anonymous Best Friend by Elizabeth Arroyo, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It's about 2 boys. Then I listened to the audiobook of The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. It's about, basically we're following 2 timelines. In present day timeline, in which a woman comes to the vacation in London, and basically she finds this vial of the apothecary, old apothecary. And in the past timeline, we're following a woman who actually is owner of that apothecary while it's still running. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Katoko Lempa Koehi Azumi, which is a male romance manga, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Then I listened to My Contrary Mary by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton and Jodie Meadows, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Is basically authors of My Lady Jane series, and they're writing series about Marys now. And in this one, we're following Mary, Queen of Scots, in an alternative world. Then I actually reread The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is first book in Mistborn series. In this one, we're following. In this series, we're following Kelsey, who is trying to overthrow the Final Empire, which is this empire which was created when the Dark Lord actually won, and he's putting together a band of Allimancers, who are people who can ingest metals, and depending on the metal they can ingest, they get different powers. And one day he meets Vin, who is Mistborn like him, and Mistborns actually can ingest all the metals and have powers of all the metals, and it's how they are planning to overthrow the Final Empire. Then after that, I actually reread its sequel, wrong book, The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. Yay! On to the probably longest books that I read this month, considering each of them is 1,000 pages long. Then I read The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. These are UK paperbacks which are split into two. So I'll just hold one. So this is first book in Stormlight Archive, in which we are following this war between Aleti and the Parshenti, which starts when Parshenti killed Aleti king, but now they're only fighting for these shard blades and shard plates, which are these enchanted shields and swords which grant their various powers, and gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And then I also reread its sequel, The Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, also 5 out of 5 stars. Everything is falling. Then I actually reread Skjærsken Paulina by Sanja Plot. It's it's a book in this companion series in which we are following Paulina P, and we are following her from about when she's in 2nd to about when she's in 8th grade, and we're reading about her life story in diary format, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And then I reread a book which I wasn't sure if I'll finish it before I go on the trip, but I did. And it's Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. It's first book in DC Icon series in which are following reimagined backstories of popular DC characters, retold by famous YA authors. So first one is Wonder Woman by Leigh Bardugo, then we have Batman by Maria Lu, then we have Catwoman by Sarah J. Maas, then we have Superman by Matt Della Pena, and I forget who is the author of Black Canary one. And this is where we're following a retold story, origin story of Wonder Woman, or Diana, who actually is trying to protect this mortal girl from dying. And then I reread Girl Online Going Solo, which is third book in Girl Online series, and which are by Zoe Saki, which are following Penny, who is a blogger, and one day after a particularly embarrassing incident in school, she decides to go with her parents to the wedding they're planning in New York, where she meets Noins, their romance. I gave all of these books 5 to 5 stars. Then I reread actually Witchbane by Alyssa Casey. This is third book in Kitsune Chronicles series, in which are following Sebastian, who is a kitsune, which is Japanese nine-tailed fox spirit with elemental magic. And he's been on the run ever since something happened to him a year ago, up until now when he bumps into an alpha werewolf named Liam, who actually saved him a year ago. And stuff goes from there. Then I actually reread The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This book was water damaged, and it's you can see that it has been on the beach. So this third book in the Mistborn series. Then I read actually Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell, which is sequel to Carry On. I gave it 5 to 5 stars, also one of my favorite books of the year. In this one, our main characters from the first book go on a road trip across America. And then, after I finished it, I read anyway the Wind Post, which is third book in Carry On series, and in this one, our favorite characters are trying to get to their normal lives, but nothing seems to go their way. Then I reread Stalked by Shadows by Alyssa Casey, which is first book in Simply Crafted series, in which are following an ex-army ranger who struggles to hold down a job because of his PTSD, and so his twin brother gets him a job with one of his friends, who needs a bodyguard, and it's romance between our ex-army ranger and his new boss. Also, I read Marked by Shadows, Possessed by Shadows, and Conventional Shadows, which are rest of the books in Simply Crafty series. Then I reread Hidden Gem by Lisa Casey, which is first book in Hidden Gem series, in which we're following Aki, who has the power to see the owner's history when he touches something of theirs, and that is really helpful to police, and it's his romance with one of the detectives he's helping on a case. I gave it 5 to 5 stars, and I also reread Cardinal Sin's Candle and Benny's Carnival, which are rest of the books in Hidden Gem series. And I also reread Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas, gave 5 to 5 stars. It's about a boy named Yadriel, trans boy named Yadriel, who just wants to prove his family that he's a brujo. And the last book that I finished literally on the last day of July was Love Boat Reunion by Abigail Hengwen. This companion novel to Love Boat Taipei by the same author, in which are following Ella Wong, who just wants to be a dancer, but her parents really want her to go to medical school, so they send her away to this summer educational program in Taiwan, which ends up being a summer-long party, and stuff goes from there. So yeah, this is it for this video. If you like, please like, share, and subscribe. Down below you have my social media, my email, and some other stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.